Every time I talk about historical romance, I feel like I need to make my hair as curly as possible. Hello everybody, my name is April and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something really fun. We are doing a collab video with Morgan from Lovely Reading. Her and I are both kind of newbies to booktube, and I've been talking to her on Instagram for a while, and we decided to do historical romance recommendations because her and I both really love historical romances. We tried to pick historical romances that we've read, but also some that we're looking forward to, and all of these books are not under the HPC banner, so if you are trying to avoid any of those titles during the union strike, these are all safe, so don't worry about it. All right, let's get into it. The first book I want to talk about is Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. This book had me on the floor laughing. There are so many shenanigans, and y'all know how I feel about shenanigans. In this book, you follow Valentine and Bonnie, and Valentine is actually supposed to be betrothed to Arabella, who is Bonnie's sister. However, Arabella, she runs away. She hightails it out of there. And so Valentine teams up with Bonnie to try and find her. Bonnie is over dramatic, he's annoying, but Valentine also kind of thinks he's really cute. So these two get into some adventures. I also think Arabella, she's the kind of character where you either think she's really annoying or she's really outrageous, and I choose the latter. So yes, this one, definitely pick it up. The next book I have to recommend is Always Be My Duchess by Amelie Howard. This one is inspired by Pretty Woman. You have Lysander is a duke, and he has a reputation for being really surly and kind of uncaring. And then Genevieve is a ballerina trying to get into a very famous company. Genevieve one day saves the duke from an accident, and he comes up with the idea to have her be his fake fiance, so that way they can both kind of salvage his relationship, but also she can earn money to get into this company. There are a lot of scenes in here that remind me exactly of the movie, and I really loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was cute and fun and definitely worth a try. The next three are actually all series that I want to recommend because every book is awesome. The first one is The Duke Heist by Erica Ridley. The first book introduces you to this found family and all of the children who they're orphans, and this, very rich duke adopted them all, and they all have different talents. And this one, it's like an art heist, which is really fun. The second one, Perks of Loving a Wallflower, Tommy and Philippa? Yeah, Tommy and Philippa. Tommy is like a master of disguises, and her favorite one to disguise herself as is like an old aunt, and it's so hilarious, and this one is so sweet. The last one I actually haven't read yet, but I know I'm gonna love. It's Nobody's Princess. This is with Graham, and I can't wait to get to this one. I really need to get to this one. This whole series is just really lovely. I love the found family aspect to it, and yeah, I have just enjoyed myself with all of them. The next series is the Ruthless Rivals series by Kate Bateman, and the first book is The Reckless Match. This series is about rival families, and they have a very long-standing land dispute between these two families, and every year they go out to that land and meet up, and whoever doesn't show loses the land, something like that. This one, the heroine is actually like, I don't know, an archaeologist or something. They end up in a cave, and there's like this cave scene that's to die for. In the second one, you have Carryin Tristan, and she's trying to avoid marriage, but at some point she makes a shocking proposal to Tristan, and he accepts it. And yeah, he has always seemed to like her. He's also an architect, so there's that one. And in A Wicked Game, you have these two. They're like frenemies instead. She's a map maker, and she made a bunch of maps that were meant for the French, help the English win this war. But unfortunately, his ship got hold of one of the maps, and then he was in prison for like a year. And when he comes back, they had both made a bet that there's going to be like 3 kisses, and it's just so cute. And this whole series, I have loved every single one. I think I've given all of them 4 or 5 stars. They're just really, really good. And the next one is Elisa Braden's Midnight in Scotland series. The first book in this one, you have, again, this really fiery heroine who speaks to ghosts. And you have a duke, I think, that is trying to, again, win some land. But in order to do that, he needs to win the Highland Games. So they make an exchange where she'll teach him all the games because it's her family's games. And then he'll teach her how to be a lady so she can get a good marriage and a good match. And they, of course, end up falling for each other as well. The next 2 books are also amazing. One deals with one brother who had went to prison and came out and he like lost his eye and stuff. And then... these books are just so amazing. They were so surprising. I loved the audiobooks of them as well. The narrator is really great, so I suggest checking them out on there. The next 5 are all going to be Kindle Unlimited recommendations that are on my TBR, and they're all brand new authors to me that I have never read before. The next book I had on my list was Notorious by May Thorne. I put this one on the list because it is a spy, a lady spy. I love those. You have Delia, who blames the British for her brother's death, so she becomes a poisoner and also rescues other people who are in the British Army's grasp, I guess. And then, of course, you have the British captain who is tasked to find her. And he doesn't really know who this person is. He just knows the name is Foxglove. And of course, I bet they will fall in love at some point. So I'm really excited to read that one. It's on my TBR really soon. Next book I have on my TBR is called The Duke Report, which is an enemies to lovers single dad romance. It is by Athena Edgewood. And basically, she is a widow and she has dedicated her life to helping servant women in England, and she came upon a story where she's going to expose a duke for being a murderer, basically. The duke his name is Ewan Cross, and he is wrongfully accused, he believes. So he invites the anonymous writer of these accusations to his home to have their own private investigation, though he doesn't realize that the accuser is actually a woman. So this one sounded really interesting, and it was an author that I haven't read yet, so I really wanted to try it. The next one on my TBR is Dare to Be a Duchess by Sapna Bog. This is another just author that I really wanted to read because I've heard great things about it. You have a duke and his uncle's ward, and she is no stranger to scandal, and she goes to a masquerade ball with his younger sister, and they get into a little bit of trouble. He is mad. So he offers them both an ultimatum that they need to get married within the next 6 months, and there's no prospects out there. So I think the Duke falls in love with her during that time, but we shall see. The next one I came upon very randomly, but it sounded so interesting to me, and all I know is it's called Luck Be a Lady Pirate, and it is by Catherine Stein. I thought this was historical, but now that I read the synopsis, it sounds more steampunk, because these are lady pirates, but they're lady pirates in the sky? Sky pirates? Maybe it's steampunk instead, but it looks historical to me. All I know is that they were pirates and they're in an airship. And that's really all I needed to know to be interested in and put this on my TBR. So I'm actually really excited to read this one. That one also comes out really soon on January 24th, and it is the 5th book in a series. So maybe I should read some of the first ones first. Nah, we'll just go with the 5th book. And the last book I have to recommend that's on my TBR from Kindle Unlimited is Don't Judge a Duke by His Cover by Emily E.K. Murdoch. Again, I don't go into these books knowing a heck of a lot about them, but this one says Lawrence, Duke of Penshaw, is undercover and getting punched on a daily basis. We love to punch a good duke, right? Clearly, he's undercover at an illegal boxing ring in London, trying to find his brother's killer. And Julia attends these boxing matches, and yeah, she thinks he is cute. Oh, I added this one too because it says it's full-length novel that's steamy and there are no cliffhangers, and it's part of a series that could be read in any order. The series is called Dukes in Danger, and this is book 1, but you can read them in any order apparently, which is awesome. I love when that happens. It looks like there are a ton of books in the series. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 books. There's 12 books in this series. Emily. Okay, well, let's start with the first one. That's all the historical romance recommendations that I have for you today. Please go over and check out Morgan's channel and see her recommendations. I'm really curious to see what she has on her list. And let me know if you are interested in any of these books as well. I know some of them sound really good, and then some of them really are really good because I have actually read them. But as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye!